How's it going, guys? Thanks for watching another video. Tonight we're going to talk about the coronavirus. What is it and what steps you can take to prevent from getting it? Alright, guys, I just want to start off by saying that I know it's really spooky that we have this foreign virus coming in from China, but honestly, we've got tons of other viruses that can kill us just like the one that's coming in from China. So we just got to be safe, take the proper preventative steps, and we're all going to be okay. Alright, so here's an updated list of the places that have been affected by the coronavirus since my last report. Before it was just France and Australia, now Germany and Canada have been added to the countries affected along with all the other countries in Asia. Here, Arizona has been added to that list along with California, Washington, and Illinois. And with the 2 week incubation period and the asymptomatic problem of somebody not knowing that they're affected, they can still spread it. So I think we're going to see a lot of other places affected by the coronavirus. All right, let's move on to what the coronavirus actually is. And I think they're calling this specific strain Wuhan coronavirus because this is a new one. It belongs to a family of coronaviruses that include SARS, MERS, and even the common cold. Now, most of the time it hangs out in animals, but the one that we have now has mutated so that it can jump to humans. And now we've just recently confirmed that it can go from human to human. So this is not the first time we've had a virus mutate that enabled it to jump from an animal to a human. And of course, it has scientists a little bit worried about future mutations, but for now, what they're focusing in on is just human to human transmission. Alright, so what is this thing? This is a new coronavirus, and I think they decided to call it Wuhan coronavirus because it belongs to a family called the coronavirus. We've had experience with SARS and MERS and the common cold. Those are all examples of the coronavirus. Alright, so the next question is, what's the difference between the coronavirus that causes the common cold and the one that causes the virus that we're looking at now? The answer is in the crowns of the virus. So if you can imagine the virus looking like one of those crazy Velcro balls that you can throw and stick to the wall, those little crowns, because that's what corona means is crowns, those will tell us what it's going to affect. So if those crowns can attach to your nose cells, that's going to be the common cold. If those little spikes can get down into your lungs and start to affect it, then you're going to have the one that we're dealing with now. Alright, so here's what happens when you breathe in this virus. Alright, somebody coughs around you or sneezes around you. You breathe it in, it gets down into your lung. It's going to look for a lung cell. It's going to attach itself, spike itself to that cell, and it's going to use it to start duplicating. And it's just going to keep going until it gets to a point where it's going to explode and it's going to kill that lung cell. And that's when you're going to start to get trouble breathing, and it gets to a point where you can't breathe at all, have upper respiratory infection and basically failure, and that's when you're going to get into trouble. Now, like most viruses, there is no cure. It's mostly supportive therapy. So if you get sick and you go in and you're having problems breathing, they're going to try to help you breathe long enough so your immune system can kick in, make those antibodies, and kill off that virus. Alright, looking back at SARS, that also came from China, that's also a coronavirus. The issue they were having with that virus is it was killing lung cells at such a rapid pace that the immune system for the affected people didn't have a chance to kick in before they passed away. And that's the major concern that scientists are looking at is it going to mutate into something like SARS? Alright, so here are the current things we can do to prevent from getting this virus so we can avoid all that stuff on the front end of the video. And the first two things I want to point out is number one, this is not one of those crazy movie airborne viruses, alright? Somebody's going to sneeze, they're going to kind of float around for a while, and if you breathe it in while you're around them, yeah, there's a chance you can get it, but for the most part, they're going to fall to the ground. Number two, it cannot get through your skin. There have been reports from China that it can affect the eyes, but for the most part, those virus particles are going to set down to the ground, and it can't get through your skin. So of course, the first thing you can do is just make sure that you wash your hand for 20 seconds, and if you carry hand sanitizer, that's going to take care of any viruses that are sticking to you, and as well as disinfecting any area around you. Something else to consider is this virus can survive on surfaces as well as the ground, alright? So let's say you're kind of walking around on there and you just happen to step on it and take it back to your office, and then you put your bag on the area where you just stepped in. Now, not only is it attached to your foot, but it's attached to your bag. So that's just kind of a small example of how this virus can spread without getting sneezed on. Another small thing you can do to reduce your chances of getting this virus is keeping your hands away from your face. Yes, I know you got your hand sanitizer and you washed your hands for 20 seconds, but there's no telling what you touched that can have the virus on it. So keeping your hands away from your face is a big one. And that's why having a mask helps, right? You can't get your hands to your face if you have a mask on it. Now, on the topic of having a mask, just because you have a mask on doesn't mean it's going to stop everything, because there's gaping holes on the sides to most of those, unless you have access to one of those custom fitted ones. And a lot of those times, those cost a lot of money. You got to shave, it has to suck up to your face. So unless you have one of those masks, don't try to be all like, oh, I'm protected because I have that mask on your face. It's not, it's definitely nowhere near 100%, but it definitely helps having a mask. And just really quick on the topic of using masks, a lot of those are disposable. So you use them a few times and you throw them away. If you keep using them and keep breathing into them, it's going to accumulate mold, and that's even worse. Now, this next one's going to be a little bit more difficult, and some people are going to be able to do it, and some people are not going to be able to do it. And that's just to avoid areas where people have traveled in, like international travel. For me, ridiculously hard. We just had SHOT Show out here, and then we had Chinese New Year, which we just had a massive Chinese concert here. So literally, there's thousands of people walking around the casino from China. I try to do my best. I just basically go from the parking lot to my office and back and forth. But if you can avoid places of major international travel, that's going to help out. And lastly, in that same vein, if you know somebody that has traveled to China or knows somebody that has gone to China, tell them, hey, look, if you're feeling just a little bit sick, go in and get tested, because this virus is not like a flu. It's more like a mild cough and you feel a little bit sick. So if you know somebody that's traveled internationally, especially to China, or knows somebody that knows somebody, that's how this whole thing starts. So get them to go into the doctor if they're feeling a little bit sick. Well, guys, that's the ending of the video. I hope you found it informative. If you liked it, please give it the thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to Chemo365, please do. And remember, I'll catch you guys later.